Welcome to the FinTalk show at Pros AI, where we spotlight the entrepreneurs revolutionizing technology and financial services across the world. We have another very exciting guest today, but for those who are joining us, we are Pros AI and we specialize in helping technology businesses scale their revenue and reduce operational costs using AI tools, which is why it makes it even more impressive to have somebody who's actually using AI to literally change the world. If you're looking to scale your business, stick around. And if you want any advice on any growth consultation, just drop us our growth in the DMs and we will see how we can help you. And I'm now really excited to introduce our guest, Miri Rodriguez, co-founder and CEO of Empressa AI, the world's first AI-powered networking platform designed to drive gender equity by honoring women's expertise with rewards. Amazing. Miri, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Osman. I am honored to be here. Thank you for allowing this platform to speak about the things that matter to us women.
Fantastic. Let's start with your story. Tell us, our audience, who is Miri Rodriguez and what's your role at Empressa AI? Tell us who you are.
Sure, absolutely. So I am the CEO and co-founder of Empressa AI. I was born in Venezuela, and I migrated to the United States when I was 13 with my family. And I really believed when we landed in America that, the world, there was opportunity to do anything. We wanted to live the American dream, even as immigrants. And so we did. I mean, my sisters and I, three of us, we got scholarships that paid us through school. And we worked, I worked up to 3 jobs going to school at the same time. So we worked hard and earned our space. And I eventually landed at Microsoft. I was there 13 years. And during my tenure in tech and specifically at Microsoft, I learned many things, and one of them was storytelling for business impact. And I finished my education while I was at Microsoft. I took a master's course, a degree about storytelling, consumer storytelling, and enterprise storytelling with UX and design thinking. And that really changed my career. It changed my outlook in how we do business, because it is through our own stories that we can change the scope of a product, that we can change the scope of a company. It is really our stories that, as a consumer, that change the brand. And so that has enabled me, that muscle of storytelling, plus, of course, tech, has enabled me to really look introspectively at what we are doing. What am I doing as a legacy? And in my tenure for 20 years, I've enabled women. I've told them to tell their stories. I've given them platform and empowerment. And I was like, how do I scale this? How do I scale this in a way that it's worldwide and it becomes a legacy? And that's how Empressa was born. Empressa is a growth and a skilling platform, AI platform for women. It is worldwide. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that women, both leaders in their space, that have that have insights, that have knowledge, that knowledge can be shared with other women. A lot of times we do this for free. And because we do it for free, when I say we, I say women, then we don't monetize it, and then we sell ourselves short. And men don't do this. Men monetize their knowledge. They consult, and And so I was like, no, we need to get paid for this. So women get paid royalties for their knowledge, and that knowledge, our AI turns it into insights for women early in career, entrepreneurs, women who are just starting out or shifting their career, and they can get to talk to these leaders. They have accessibility, and that's another thing that we usually don't have as women. We don't have accessibility to other women that we can talk to, that we can say, hey, help me out here. Let's trade secrets. Tell me how you did it. And so it's a two for two. It's a win-win situation for women who want to learn and women who have the knowledge and can give it away.
That's impressive. That's impressive. And I believe it's a space where women feel not only empowered, they feel safe, where they can trade all the but just looking at the statistics, when I was going through your story, something really stuck out. The statistics that it will take over 100 years, and you probably have a more specific number to achieve gender parity at the current pace. That's staggering. I mean, what specific insights from your Microsoft experience showed you that AI could actually be the solution to accelerate this timeline?
Yeah, so it's specifically 123, so a little bit over, it's 11 decades, and I won't be here and you won't be here, even if we, if we do a lot of good food and good eating and good exercising, we probably won't be able to see that parity be reached, and that saddens me, to think that our daughters and our, granddaughters are still going to be somewhat negotiating that
Right,
parity when it comes to being in the world, and just because they are a woman, they're not getting paid the same amount for the same work being done. This is just one statistic of the many. When we say parity, we're not just talking money, we're talking gender parity and all the
right,
opportunities in the workforce, in the workplace. So it is a sad statistic. And when I at Microsoft has the, I as you know, 3 years ago, Microsoft partnered with OpenAI, which is the parent of ChatGPT that everybody knows. It's basically the generative AI portion of AI. And I learned, that the opportunity is that AI can be an equalizer. Now,
right,
we're not seeing that right away. The numbers are changing slightly, but up until just a few weeks ago, statistics told us that women are not adopting AI at the same rate. They're adopting
right,
AI at 30% less than men are in the world, even though AI is available for everyone, for you to just
right,
learn it, for you to, understand it, for you to lead it. Women are
right,
just staying away from it at 30% less. We're also learning that women are not just not learning it, but they're not adopting it for
Mhm.
several reasons. And the main one is, you talked about safety, it is security. And there's a multifaceted security factor. Women come into the world as prey, right? We are preyed upon, whether it's in the
right,
digital world or in the physical world. And so
right.
we innately have to be careful. We have to think about how we come in, excuse me, how we come
Yes,
in, when we come in. And
right,
so that also makes us skeptics about technology. When we look at the history of technology, a lot of
right,
times those technologies were not built for us, or they're not
right.
thinking about us. The data
Mhm,
is already skewed and is against us. And
mhm.
so there's a lot that contains such a force that is AI. And so what
Right,
I want to do with Empressa, and what I learned at Microsoft, is if we can lead it, and if we can see ourselves in it, then we can own it. Then we can be part of the solution. And so I
right,
do believe AI as a technology is an equalizer today. It is
right,
accessible to all of us. We all have it at our fingertips. So it is our responsibility as women to really take it upon ourselves to learn it, to adopt it, and to lead it in this era of
right.
AI.
Amazing. I mean, I didn't know that the adoption rates are actually that significantly different,
Yes, it
percent
is.
slower than. I mean, is there anything in particular you're doing at Empressa to change that, the adoption rate? Because that's also quite critical.
Yes, so everything we are doing at Empressa is
Right.
about the adoption rate. So all the things, the first thing that we did was we started with, when we
Mm.
announced our company, we invited founding members to join us from all over the world. So we
Right.
have everyone from all continents, and they basically came in as the founding members, all women, came in
Right.
to really express their opinions, express their satisfaction or lack thereof with AI. So we
Right.
actually began to build with what we say, not bolt on, but built in. Our AI has been taking in feedback consistently from these women that represent anything from earlier in career to, a senior leader in her space, all of the intersectionality that we can see, different parts of women's stages in life,
Right.
career stages, business functions, or industries and sectors and geographic locations. So we have a
Right.
nice and diverse space where we have learned what matters to women in AI. And we're learning, for example, that places like Kenya are
Right.
really taking a bold approach to having women lead. So they're actually doing a lot for AI literacy, which we love to
Wow.
see. So we're seeing pockets and things and movements and trends, and we're using that to integrate that into what we're calling our algorithm justice. We want
Right.
justice, not just parity. We want to make sure that women are represented in every sense of the word. And that means that safety that you're talking about, because when you talk to ChatGPT, for example, and you say to
Right.
ChatGPT, hey, I'm feeling a little bit depressed. I'm a little bit nervous that tomorrow I have a conversation with the meeting. I have a meeting at the board of directors, and I don't
Right.
feel right, and I feel a little bit depressed. I maybe
Yeah.
maybe it has to do with my, I don't know, my menstrual cycle. It actually
Yeah.
can shut you down. It'd be like, oh, depression, block. It can block you down because of the keywords that you used. And so
Right.
now it doesn't really connect the dots for you. With
Right.
Empressa, it will actually have the empathy to say, okay, we understand. Actually, your hormones play a big part during your cycle. You could be depressed because of your hormonal cycle. Maybe wait a week before you do the meeting. Maybe think about this, or giving you actual advice that contains that intersectionality that women don't have the chance to talk about all the time, because we have to pretend that those things don't happen. If you have or just
Right.
had a baby, you may have postpartum depression. We
Right.
don't talk about
Right.
that. And so these
Right.
are all the things that it actually helps you understand without censorship and with the advice of other women. So it'll say something like, I've come in and be like, hey, that happened to me before. I did get depressed once before, and this is what I did about it. So
Right.
there's actually connection between other women's stories to tell you you're not alone. This is something that happens, and then we can all basically come together and help each other out.
Wow. I mean, when you say it's built by women for women, I can totally
Yes.
see where you're coming from.
Yes.
But I'm also glad you mentioned Kenya there because I come from Kenya, so it's good to see how.
Oh, well, I've been there twice and I
Right.
love it very much. I want to go back more than once, more than twice. It's
Right.
a beautiful, beautiful place. And I love your barbecue, by the way. It's delicious.
Right. Well, maybe one day we'll have that barbecue somewhere
I
in
hope so.
or
I can
somewhere.
never forget it. It's one of the best I've had. It's wonderful.
Amazing, amazing. Now, going back to the statistic, the number that you
Yeah,
mentioned, you actually said 11 decades.
yeah,
It's
11
staggering.
days.
Do
It
you
is.
have do you have a target? Do you have a vision? What's the vision?
I
How
do.
how much can you actually reduce that?
Yes, yeah, actually, it's a great question. So we are actually aligned on purpose to the United Nations four goals that they have, including parity and gender equity. They have four
Right.
specific goals that we align in terms of ethics and workplace parity. And so
Right.
for us, that reduction for us in 5 years, we hope to reduce that by at least 30 years. So if we're at 123, we'll be less than a decade, less than 11 decades, less than a century at that point.
Yeah.
In 5 years, we really hope that we
Right.
can reduce that number significantly. And of course, 10 years, then it could be even more. We
Right.
really do believe that AI can help this by doing a few things. Number one, we empower women to get paid for their insights. They get royalties every time they create an insight, something that is their legacy. A lot of women have not had opportunity to write a book, have not had an opportunity to have a podcast, not because they don't want to. It's just hard. It's just hard.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
easy. The platforms are not made with us in mind, and so it takes a long time. We already saw, and we aligned to Claudia Goldin's, who won the Nobel Prize. She talks about how hard it is still for women because basically we get punished
Right.
for the extra things that we have to contend with in being a mother, stepping
Hmm.
out and having a child.
Yeah.
Even today, 65% of the household work is done by women, even though both couples will work full-time jobs. So 65% of that is women come home and do more work. So we don't
Yeah.
have the time. Sometimes it's not that we don't want to. We don't have the time to
Right.
monetize extra, have a side hustle or monetize our expertise or write a book. But Empressa
Right.
helps you do that. Empressa helps you create, have those insights. And then you just sit there, you upload it. And then on this side, somebody's asking, hey, Miri, how can I scale my business with storytelling? And I can come and say, oh, great, glad you asked that question. This is how you do it. This is a methodology. So my insights help another women. And so I'm getting
Yeah.
paid and she has access to someone like me. So the mentorship is available. It's empowering to women on this side, and the monetization of those insights are available for women. So we hope with that combination of those two things, gender parity is reached because we're breaking different barriers. Women have
Right.
access to other women that typically they wouldn't. Today, if I wanted to talk to another CEO, I'll have to pay $15,000 to be part of Chief, which is an organization where I can talk to C-suite levels. Why? Why do I have to pay? I don't have, $15,000 that I could be putting into my business versus just a connection point. So now you have access to someone like me, and I can, and I can give you my insights. I'm already making money, and they now have that access. So there's many different barriers that we're breaking that are through the economic ladder that are
Right.
unseen but are there, that now through Empressa are basically enabling that, reducing that number. Hopefully, in 5 years, we'll go under that 100 year mark.
That's amazing. I mean, you're breaking so many barriers. I mean, just the practical example you're giving there,
Yeah.
if you're going to invest 15,000 to just be connected to see somebody, when you can
Yeah.
actually put that money
Put
into
it
a
into my
business,
business. Absolutely.
staggering. It's staggering. For our audience, maybe people who've not, men, especially women who've
Yes.
heard about what you do, can you walk us through the end to end? What does that process look like?
So for women who are experts in their field, there is an application process. We do want to make sure that you are an expert and you're not just saying that for sake.
Right,
And so we do every one of our women on the expert side are go through an application process because they're vetted. There's
right,
a one-time application fee that we charge. However, right now, because we are still a proof of concept, if you are listening to this right now, you're a woman who is interested, just reach out to me directly. We are actually making VIP invitations now. So my email is miri at empressa.ai with a double S, empressa.ai. And so they basically pay an application fee and they are not charged the application until they actually get approved. So it is, basically you get approved and you're welcome into the community. At this point, the women experts are already part of a vetted community of experts and that are people like me. They get to talk to me directly. They have, they
right,
get to interview me and we have conversation. And with every other woman, this is actually really great because women like me who are building a business, for example, I'm not really good at taxes. Well, I can ask a tax professional in my community and say, hey, can you help me out here? I can trade an hour of my taxes with your
right,
storytelling, and we can help each other and build each other's business that way. So that's already access to the community, and I can already
right,
start monetizing my expertise. On the user side, it's a subscription-based access to Empressa. So they pay monthly a subscription, and now they have access to the chat where they chat with people like me.
right,
Basically, my insights are available 24/7, and it's actually the model is trained to learn how you interact with it. So the minute you start talking to Empressa, the AI, it begins
right,
to personalize that experience for you. It's never going to feel like a GPT robot. You will feel that it's me talking to you or another woman, up to 5 women. We are your imperial council. We're your council of women, giving you advice
right,
however you need it. You also have a chance to talk to us live once a month. So we have a connect with the women, our users once a month to ask questions or answer questions. And if the question is not, if we don't have an answer, we will say it. We don't have an answer to this question. We may actually touch on that point on our monthly call, but we don't
yeah,
pretend to have all the answers. We just want to give
right,
you our experience, how we've learned life, and what we
yeah.
have to offer. So on both sides, it is, again, subscription-based for users, and it's an application process for women experts.
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, I can see why you chose AI with a feminine voice approach versus
Yeah.
building just yet another professional networking platform. But how does
Yeah.
Empressa's empathy and grace differentiate from existing
Mhm.
solutions?
Through storytelling. So that's the thing that you mentioned at the very beginning and what you opened up
Right,
with. That is
right,
basically what makes it very special. We have trained the I personally have been very involved in the development of the voice and the personality and the persona of Empressa. And the reason for that is, again, we want to make sure that even if we don't have the answers, that we can acknowledge the situation for the woman. We women
right,
go through so many things that we tend to cover and mask because we want to show up competent in the business world. And so we mask things like, we just recently went through a surgery. We just recently went through a mastectomy, a double mastectomy, or I just recently got diagnosed with breast cancer. We don't talk about those things. And so Empressa comes in with that very specific empathy of saying, if you
right,
mention something like that, it'll pick it up and it'll engage in a conversation that makes you feel that you're being not only heard, but you're being empathized with. And there are women who
right,
are empathizing with you because we are. Now, for example, I mentioned the breast cancer because I myself am a breast cancer survivor. And there's 3 ways that Empressa can talk to you. There's the business, there's the lifestyle, and there's wellness. Now, with wellness, I am not a doctor, but I have been a patient. And so I understand what it is to go through something like this. And I can share my insights as a patient. And I can say, hey, if you see something doesn't feel right, or if you have had a dream, if there's something going on, listen to your intuition. I did. And so it goes beyond what a doctor will say and what women have actually experienced. And so it will talk with that empathy, and it will talk through story. When I went through this is what happened. When she went through this is what happened. So it's not just facts and figures, it's our own stories being shared.
amazing, amazing. I mean, this is truly inspiring to hear all these things that have shaped your journey. But going back to maybe back to Microsoft, how does that corporate experience influence how you're building Empressa today?
Oh, 100%. It's interesting. When I first thought of Empressa, it wasn't immediately an AI in my mind.
Right.
It was more of an app. It was like an app, a trading app platform where women experts were going to trade hours by hour. You would trade your tax hours, and I'll trade my
Right.
storytelling hours, and we build our each other's businesses.
Right.
But at some point, it became increasingly clear that it was going to be an AI. And
Right.
at the same time, Microsoft was partnering with OpenAI. And I thought, oh no, they might come after me for PI or IP. Sorry. I actually reached out to Microsoft and I applied for the Microsoft for Startups program, and
Right.
I was accepted, and I was given a really lucrative grant to build on the Microsoft Azure program, on the
Okay.
stack, on the Azure stack. And so
Yeah.
when you talk about the things that I've learned at Microsoft, what I have learned at Microsoft is two things regarding AI. Security posture and responsible AI are the main things we need to worry about when we're building something that is AI powered. In today's
Right.
era of AI, we're seeing a lot of people building startups and new companies and everything that's AI powered. But if you do not lead with a security posture that is robust, your
Hmm.
data, which is what it really sources from,
Yeah.
will not be strong and will not be ethical, or it could be not
Right.
ethical, or it could be breached. And so that's when you lose all of your ability to really build that technology.
Mhm.
People won't trust it, right? And your consumers won't trust it, and enterprises won't trust it. And the second part is the ethics behind it. What is it for? What are you using AI for? In our
Right.
case, AI for good, right? We are building AI for good. It is for women. When you should know this, you're from Kenya, and it's a very matriarchal
Yeah.
society. I love it because women who lead, in that society, they not just lead from themselves, they lead for their entire village. They lead for
Right.
schools, they lead for building the community. And I love
Mhm.
that. It's basically called the
Yeah.
social enterprises of Africa, which I absolutely love. And so
Mhm.
that is the foundation. Women are communal. And so when we build something, the entire society, it benefits, it's impacted positively. So for us, the ethics behind this AI and the security
Right.
posture is important. That's why I'm very proud to say we're building with Azure stack, which is one of those strongest. I'm not going to
Right.
say impenetrable, but
Yeah.
it's very, very strong. And I've been at Microsoft long enough to tell you that. I
Yeah.
don't know that I would trust other ones. So I'm really excited to be a partner of Microsoft, and also because they practice and they lead with responsible AI.
Amazing. You have a book. You've written a book, brand storytelling. It's been
Yes.
translated into 4 languages. How
Yeah.
are you applying these storytelling principles to help women craft their professional narratives
Yeah.
on your platform?
Yeah. Great question. Well, was going to be a surprise, but now you gave it away by asking the question. Women, a lot of times, back to the time limits that they have and the different things that they go through in their stages of life. A lot of times they don't have time. They can't take, or they believe that they can't take the time to build their personal brand and
Right.
build their personal voice and their platform for themselves. They're typically too busy building their family and their community and everything around them. And so brand storytelling centers on design thinking principles, which is 5 steps. It is to empathize, to
Mm.
define, to ideate, to prototype, and to test. Those five
Right.
steps take us through a very specific cycle of how to build your story and your brand in a way that resonates with people. And it starts with
Right.
empathy. It starts with how do you get people to empathize with you? And it's the story, right? Right now, you're empathizing with me as a woman, even though you're not a woman, because I'm telling you stories of women. I'm telling you what we go through. And so now you're like, wow, this is something that, I didn't know. But you
Right.
took the time. Your storytelling platform, which is this podcast, allows for that stories to that story to be shared. So I teach
Right.
women to do that. I teach women to understand their narrative, their origin story, and to be able to use that very powerful tool because it's very unique, and to tell people why do they exist, why they're doing what they're doing, why they're building what they're building. And people listen to that. We are curious innately about other people's stories. And so I
Right.
teach women with design thinking principles how to build their brand and their origin story. And Impressa, this is the surprise. Now, when you enter Impressa as a woman and you sign in, it's like a little mini Miri shows up, and she's going to guide you and ask you a few questions. And then with the questions that you answer, you're going to get your profile and your personal story handed to you. So it basically, the consulting work that I typically do, that I charge for, will actually be
Right.
given to women when they come into Empressa. They're going to have an opportunity to build their brand profile through Empressa.
That's fascinating. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff that you're building. Now you're targeting accomplished women, of course, the experts, leaders for the Imperial
Yes.
Council, while also serving, early career women seeking mentorship. How do you
That's right.
balance these different user needs and acquisition strategies in terms of, getting them on board? It's
Yeah.
very different.
They're very different target audience that they are. Two different stories, right? So right now we're actually working on a skilling event that we're going to launch October. I still have to confirm with our partners the exact date, but it's going to be in October. And so we are going to invite all women across the globe. It will be through 4 time zones, available live at 10 o'clock local time in the 4 time zones. We are going to invite women to join and get a certification in AI fundamentals. This is at
Right.
par certification with IBM, Microsoft, Harvard. It is by far way cheaper and only 3 hours versus 9 to 6 hours, which is the industry standard. But you still will
Right.
get the certification industry standard. So by the time you're done with the certification, you will have enough knowledge to train an AI model, to understand it and train it in a way that you can bring this back to your own work. So it's a really great certification. Through the
Right.
certification, we're also going to invite you to the Empressa platform. So you get to play and use it as your playground. And so
Right.
why do I say that? Because users have a different behavior than experts. Experts are going to want to join and learn more about, how do I make money? How do I monetize my information? So we're going to invite them to do that. And because we're doing this by women for women, women, like I said, are skeptical. I don't pretend to throw a product out there and say it's done. I'm throwing the proof of concept so they can guide me onto the next step. So what we're doing is the users will use it and they're going to train our AI as they join the platform, and the experts will use it and tell us what is the best thing that they want out of this process. And so we're learning as we're going, and we're building and iterating. And so we target from that perspective. Both of them can get certified, but both of them will join the platform from their own experience that they need, and their needs will tell us how we iterate as we go.
I see. That's really well thought out. Now, just looking at your ambition, you're already building the foundation. If you wanted to, because this is amazing. I mean, people really need to know about this.
They
If you
do.
wanted
They
to
do.
10x your expert network and your user base in the
Thank
next
you.
18 months,
Yeah.
what's the biggest bottleneck, or what are the challenges you see, and how are you solving that?
Yeah, the challenge is the noise around AI platforms, because there's so much happening right now in AI. It's also combined with, unfortunately, politics in the United States that
Mm.
are continuing to plague not only our system, but our social media systems, where people are just getting caught up in social media
Right.
noise. Those are challenges. And also you have the restructuring of jobs that are happening in the US. We're seeing thousands and thousands of people affected by huge
Yeah.
mass, layoffs, which obviously impacts the economy. I see them as noise and challenges, but I take them also as opportunities, because these are exactly the reasons why, number one, women should have their own platform and not have to think about an employer that's going to lay them off. We have learned through this process of layoffs that I believe is 40%. It's up to 40% of women are more impacted by the time they're laid off because they than men, because it takes them longer to get back to getting a job that they was at par from the job they were laid off from. So it takes them longer. They probably won't get paid more. So they
Right.
suffer a lot more once they get laid off. There's a lot of, barriers to getting back to where they needed to be financially. And so we want to take these opportunities and these conversations and say, this is exactly
Right.
why Empressa is offering an opportunity for you to build your career, for you to make side money, for you to really come in and meet a targeted community of people. So bottleneck is noise, but I do believe that people like you who are bringing me on board and having these conversations, women have one great ability, and is that we talk about the things that matter to us. So if you're listening to this and it matters to you and you check out our website, just share it, just share it, just share it, just share it. And I do believe that word of mouth still is even more
Right.
important than anything else. And
Right.
so I've built my personal network literally by word of mouth. The
Right.
conversations I've had, I'm a public speaker. Every invitation was by word of mouth. Everything I've done in my career is because somebody talked about it. So it still matters. It's still real. Human connection will always be more powerful than anything else. And so if we think this is something that women need, let's talk about it and let's keep talking about it and let's get the word out there.
Amazing. Do you see any opportunities for like corporate partnerships? With your background of training leaders across
Yeah.
different organizations, what do you see corporations, how will they integrate Empressa model into their diversity and inclusion efforts?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Again, back to the politics. In the US specifically, I won't speak for the rest of the world because the
Yeah,
UK, which is where you are, thank God
yeah,
there's still that opportunity with, that DEI is still important in Europe,
yeah,
in parts of the world, except for
yeah,
America right now is being politicized. So aside from the US, I'm grateful that people are still having the conversation. I think it goes beyond DEI. The enterprise offering of Empresa to corporations is that we bring the inclusion data that you may need for your AI. Example,
right,
if you were to bring Empressa with our data to say, hey, your data probably is skewed and doesn't have the amount of women voices that you need to make a
right,
corporate decision.
yeah,
Empresa has it, right? We have women voices. So we can
mm,
actually talk about that. We were creating that research to say, this is the information that you're lacking. This is the information
right,
that you may need in order to build your AI, in order to build, things that matter for women. We know what matters. We see how their behavior, we see how they're adopting. We
right,
understand their challenges when it comes to career. And so if they want to create programs, they can probably bring us and we can consult with them based on the
right,
conversations we're having over here. So as a
mhm,
consulting platform, it enables. We're also
yeah,
thinking of a CRM platform that we can bring in and they can
yeah,
basically bring in Impressa into
yeah,
their CRM to help make those decisions because it already includes the data that they may need. So we're not selling B2B yet. We've been asked this question before. At the very least, our corporate partners can be sponsors for women. We're
right,
looking, for example, as people that have corporations that say, hey, we're not teaching women AI or we're not doing AI certification specified for
yeah,
women, but
mhm,
Impressa is. So we're going to buy 100 seats and we're going to get our women certified through Impressa. So at the very least, they can get an industry seat certification for their women in their corporations. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. And whoever is listening, hopefully they take the message and they know where to find you. But just looking at this, it's really women economic empowerment as well. That
yes,
it's just beyond networking. You're creating a new economy where women knowledge becomes a revenue stream.
that's
How does
right.
this model change the game for women's financial independence?
It changes it from the bottom up. One of the things that, like I said earlier, unfortunately for us, we have been generous enough to give away all of our knowledge from the beginning. We are communal, so we share it
Right.
because that's how we operate, which is nice when
Yeah.
it comes to society. But then we lose the opportunity to monetize, and then we shot ourselves in the foot. So this basically teaches women to say, number one, your content is worthy. It's worth it. It needs to be monetized and you are going to get paid for it. So it teaches them that it's worth it. Number two, it basically creates an immediate revenue stream. The more they connect with more women, the more money they're going to make. It's
Right.
not exclusive to Empresa. So you can have your own channel. You can bring anything that you've created from social media. You can upload your books, your videos, everything you've
Yeah.
already built. Or if you haven't built it, you can start there. I had a woman tell me, hey, Miri, I have the rights to my grandfather's 30 books that he was a very famous published author in Colombia. Can I put
Mm.
this in Impressa? And I said, yeah, I mean, it's your real estate. You can do whatever you want. It's your digital library. You can do whatever you want with it and monetize it as much as you want. We also have something called My Shop, where women can actually they're going to have basically a front end store where they can add anything they want to that. We don't make anything out of it. It's just for them to connect with the users and say, hey, I can offer a one-on-one mentorship or consultation, or you can buy my book directly from here. So it's a ready-made network. If women had to go and build a website and get people to go see it, and we don't have to. give you the website for you, the front, and you already have users looking at it. So it's going to change the way women have to build that from zero, which is so hard, and they can start monetizing immediately. And it's essentially going to change their entrepreneurial mind. If I can do something like this, I'm worth it. I'm going to do
Yeah.
more. I'm no longer going to give away my knowledge and my insights. I'm going to sell
Right.
it. I'm going to tell it, so that's a mindset.
Right.
Economic change starts with mindset, right? It's not the system, it's how you think about where you come in and how you come in. So when
It
women are
does.
being told your insights matter and they're being paid for, you're no longer
Yeah.
going to say, oh, why am I giving this for free? I'm not going to give it for free anymore. And it
Right.
starts there.
Right. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And it's actually something that needs to be done because as you said,
Yes,
it's sometimes women doubt how much value they can bring,
all
and
the time, all the
it,
time.
it's been said in job interviews, when you ask for a pay rise or whatever,
Yes.
it's never like you're always holding back and thinking, I can't really ask for that. And yeah, we've seen
Yeah.
it all in our corporate careers. Looking forward, what does success look like in 3 to 5 years for you?
Imagine a world where we have young women
Right.
that are just starting out their careers and they are no longer thinking by themselves or feeling that they are alone in this trajectory because they know they can enter a space and ask a group of really, really valuable women, leaders in their space, and they're not shy to ask the questions and say, I just graduated, but I hate my career. I want to go start a bakery. And I don't
Right.
want to be a lawyer, but I just graduated as a lawyer. What do I do? And then you have a woman saying, you know what? I graduated and I didn't do that. And I followed my dreams and I loved it and I'm living the best life. Or you have another woman saying, I followed my career, I monetized it, and then I bought my bakery. And so you have this, it's not telling women what to do, it's just stories being shared that impact culture, impact a woman's life that will change culture. So that's on this side. Imagine on this side, a group of women who thought that once they've retired, they have nothing more to give society. They're done with corporate America and they want to contribute, but they don't know how. And they
Right.
have all this knowledge and all this wisdom. And now they can go into this space and say, how do I serve the world? How do I
Right.
reach someone in Kenya? How do I reach someone in
Right.
Japan would never meet me otherwise? But now I have the opportunity to connect with women worldwide and they can ask
Right.
me any question they want. And now I'm accessible and available to them in a way that it's a digital legacy. It's forever. I will immortalize myself through this process. And so we have women immortalizing their knowledge, and we have women
Right.
on this side continuously learning from them. That is where I see 3 to 5 years Empressa as a machine, as an exchange of power, as an empowering tool for women on both ends.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. It's a very good place to end it. I mean, thanks, Miri. That was really packed. That was really packed, and I can see why I was really excited to have you on the show today. We've touched on so many things. I don't even know where to start. We've explored how AI is revolutionizing women professional advancement through your platform, how you're creating a royalty system that pays women for their experience. It's clear that you're building a network platform. You're not just creating a network platform, but creating an entirely new economy where
Yes,
women becomes a valuable compensated asset.
right. That's right.
In- Is there anything else you'd like our audience to take away from the show today?
Yes, and thank you again for this amazing opportunity to share the stories and what we're doing at Impressa. If you're listening, if you're a woman, just get curious about AI. Learn it, adopt it. If you don't like what we're doing, change it. Build your own. It's available to all of us. I'm changing systems through AI because I believe that it can be an equalizer. And it's just only my story. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever system it's not working for you, train it. Train AI to serve you and to serve people around you. It's not just about women, it's about everyone. And so if you're serving communities that are children communities, elderly communities, disabled communities, AI has the power to really scale this at massive, massive scale,
Right,
and worldwide availability and accessibility. We just have to learn it. We have to be careful. We have to be ethical and responsible
right.
with it, but we can
Yeah.
all do something amazing with it. So believe in it and learn it and adopt it.
Very good, very good. I know you already gave us your email address, but where can our viewers and listeners learn more about Empressa and connect with you?
Yes, it's Empressa, like Empress, like an empress, like a queen empress. And I'll say this anecdote, an empress is more powerful than a queen because she actually owns territories and kingdoms. And a queen can only is only powerful in one kingdom. An empress
Right.
has many kingdoms and territories. So we're going beyond being a queen, you're being an empress. Empressa.ai. You'll learn everything about us there. Just a quick demo as well of the platform. You can reach out to me, Miri Rodriguez, M-I Rodriguez with a Z. You can find me online. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me at mirirod.com. And if you reach out to me personally, I will always respond. So if you're a woman or a man listening, you just want to reach out, have more conversation, have more questions, by all means, hit me up and I'll be glad to answer your questions.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you found this episode as insightful as we did, please subscribe, share it with anyone or someone who might find it equally inspiring. You've had lots and lots of good things here, so we are hoping that you can share it. You can also find more episodes and resources on our website, YouTube channel, Spotify, and LinkedIn. Miri, thank you so much for sharing those insights into Empressa AI and the future of AI-powered gender equity and women's economic empowerment. To all those tuning in, we'll be back next week with another entrepreneur reshaping technology, just as we've seen from Miri. Until then, keep building. Thank you, everyone.